Good evening, and if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of beautiful city of New Orleans, and this is the Angel Rock. I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. You're going to see me looking back and forth. We're working on that streaming key still for TikTok. We've met all the check boxes, but they're not understanding what I'm letting them know. But let's get on with the show tonight. A little bit about myself. If you've never been here before, welcome. And if you are back here, sorry, we'll take care of that. I'm telling you, when I have a guest, I can play with all these producing things. So you may see me doing a few things back and forth. So have patience. I see a bunch of us are here already in the chat. And also welcome to people that are returning too. We really welcome you. You guys, I'm running back and forth between comments on TikTok, on Instagram, and then we've got a whole bunch of platforms here. Our network uses StreamYard. So have patience with me, please. I am a Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I am also a registered nurse. I'm an animal communicator. I'm extremely well versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler myself. I've also studied them professionally and personally for over 40 years, and I'm extremely well versed in the paranormal. I always say my family and I never went looking for the paranormal. It found us. And we have shared our story on the Travel Channel on Paranormal Survivor Season 4, Episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. And I'm going to say hi to everybody in just a second and get all the housekeeping things out of the way. So you guys, if you want to join in the chat, this network's been around for 25 plus years, and we do stream potentially to every country in the world, which is a beautiful thing. We weren't quite live yet, I don't think, and I was saying hi to Joe Montaldo. I saw he was live on UPRN on TikTok. He's the one that has created this network, provided this beautiful place for a whole bunch of us to do wonderful shows here. And I believe we're almost up to 40 live hosts on the network, and we stream multiple shows daily, 7 days a week. When we're not streaming live, the archive server kicks in and it picks a random show over the last 25 plus years. And there really is something for everybody on this network. It's not all just UFO and paranormal. So please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends. Also, if you guys want to join in the commentary, because this show and my second show, which I co-host on UPRN, which is called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with David Hansel, who is an incredible medium and a very good friend of mine. He is also on TikTok. You're looking for media, I think it's Spirit Medium David Hansel. You were looking for the guy that has 96 plus thousand subscribers. I don't say that to brag for him. It's just he has so many imposters on TikTok. So we're here at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on Thursday nights live. We're going to be trying to stream again to TikTok because we're going to try and do this. We are going to get that streaming key somehow, because there's a whole bunch of you that join us here live on this program. We tried it last week, worked out beautifully last Thursday, so we're going to continue to do so. So both of my shows are very audience participative. If you guys weren't, I should say all of you weren't here, I'd be doing this all by myself, or sometimes I have an incredible guest, and on Thursday nights I have a co-host, but you are the ones that make this show possible. I'm so grateful for all your support. You support our network, you support many of our hosts. We really, really appreciate it. So 80% of our global audience is audio only. So if you can't see us, you won't be able to join in the conversation. But we'd love to have you be part of it. I always tell all my guests, always, a very intelligent audience, very, very kind, very inclusive. There's none of the shenanigans that go on with sometimes in the chat when we're here. So how you can join the conversation, if you can see the show, you can comment. So how you can do that is head over to, usually we're on UFO Paranormal United Public Radio Network on Facebook. I tried over 120 times today, no joke, trying to add it to StreamYard. It would not allow me. So we are streaming to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio on YouTube. We're streaming to my YouTube channel, and that's where all of you on TikTok can head over if you want to really join in the conversation, because I will see it here on the screen, because I got to go back and forth between you and still to Instagram, which I'll explain in a minute. But you can head over to the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on YouTube. I'm also streaming it to my Facebook profile, which is Lorilei Potvin on Facebook. It's public, so you don't have to send me a friend request. You can join in the conversation. We're streaming to Canada's Most Haunted. We are also streaming on the Angel Rock on Instagram. Sometimes it seems it's been better. It's been lasting the full 2 hours, the live, but they don't integrate the comments from Instagram, nor do they from TikTok. So I will try and bounce back and forth. But if you don't see me answering a question, just keep repeating it. Don't spam the chat, obviously, on TikTok, but please, repeat your question if you'd like to, and that will help things. So I'm going to say, I want to make sure, I always forget one thing. Good thing I got a checklist. If you want to watch us on TV, the network does have its own TV channel. You can head over to Roku. You're going to go to the channel store. You're going to type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop-down list, and we're about the third or fourth one down, and you're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio. And that's how you can watch us on TV too. So let's say hi to everybody that's here. Let's see. Well, check out Instagram. Sometimes people don't. Oh, it looks like, sorry, I got to put my glasses on. I know I've seen you on YouTube before. Is it Excel 17, I think? Yep. And I'll put them back on for TikTok. I'll head over there in just a sec. But let's say hi to everybody in the main chat here. We have Leslie1266. She says hello, as does Heidi Gall. And they're all saying hi to one another. Hi, Michelle Wilfong. Michelle Wilfong, I didn't get a chance to message you today, but I added you as a mod over on TikTok. Hope that's okay, but you're always there anyways. And you and David right now are my mods on. I don't think David will be on here just yet, but I know you're usually back and forth, so I hope that's okay. Let me see. Kathy Hanley Little says, hi, Lorilei. Leslie says, too cute. Well, why not? You guys, we are 10 days away from Halloween. This is the UFO Paranormal Radio Network. This is our month. This is spooky month. So I thought, let's have a Halloween party. What happened was I had a guest that's been on the network before. His name is Christian Laterre. And he claims, and I believe him wholeheartedly, to be one of the boys of Montauk, in which the series on Netflix, Stranger Things, was actually based on his experiences and many more, as well as many of the boys that were with him. If you don't know about that, you can head over, you can Google it and look up Boys of Montauk. We were going to talk about the Montauk chair tonight, time travel, entering into different dimensions, his experiences with demonic entities and ETs. Unfortunately, something came up at the last minute. It always does, and that's okay, because now he's coming on in the new year. I'm booking into the new year right now for guests. So that's okay, because we'll be all ready for that when he does come on. We got Howie O'Dell. I want to give Howie O'Dell a huge shout out. He owns the Riff Nation Network and has many hosts over there. He is a huge supporter of our network here over on UPRN. And he has his own show, which is The Orion Effect, which David Hansel, my co-host from Thursdays, and myself have been on a few times. And he co-hosts that with the amazing Rhonda Harris, who I absolutely love. She's just like a sister. We don't get to talk all the time, but when you just meet somebody and you just know, she's one of those people. So he said he's tipping his top hat, and then he says, and if there's any trolls or tricksters in here, he says we flush them. That's right, we do. That's how he's saying. I've borrowed it. I know my very good friend who's also on the network here, Carrie Lynn Shellhorn. She has Spirit Switchboard on Fridays from 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's a 2-hour show. She has fantastic guests. She's an incredible psychic medium. We had a paranormal conference from where I am here in Canada. I'm about 6.5 hours north of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I'm in Thunder Bay. And Lucky Paranormal put on the Lake Superior Paracon a couple of weeks ago, and I spoke at it. She was one of the featured speakers we finally got to meet, but she also uses the flushing the trolls. So we always give Howie credit where it came from. And Leslie says, thanks, Lorilei, for working so hard to include all of us. You are the best. Well, thank you, but so are all of you. And Michelle Wilfong, I didn't think you'd mind, Michelle. I don't usually call people and say, I had a jazz a mod, but I was literally I have been working on trying to get a streaming key, because I've met every qualification, all the check marks on TikTok. And I don't have a go live button on the website. Don't ask me why. I've been trying to fix it. I will figure it out, because tech is one of my hobbies. So right now we're doing it this way. So you guys, if you see me looking for it, I'm looking at the main monitor. You guys are over on TikTok on my phone. Doesn't count my show numbers, but that's okay. I don't do this for the numbers. I do it for the fun of it. And Heidi says, flush. Nicole Thomas Ryan says, hello. And Howie's going, thank you, thank you. And he's chuckling. So let's check over on Instagram. Then we're going to head over to TikTok quickly and say hi. Oh, it's Ixchel. I don't think I'm saying it right because I know you told us how to pronounce that before. I think you were there for David and I's show on a Thursday night. So please forgive me if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. All right, we need glasses for TikTok because it's small. Who have we got here? We can't have any live guests, unfortunately, on the show because I don't know you from Adam. If I did, maybe. But yeah, because we go out all over the world and we are actually broadcasting on FM, we have to hang in there with the rules for broadcasting. We've got Alex Maiko, Ken Powell, Corey, Jean Meyer, Angel, Caleb, Claire. Hang on, we'll go down a little further. A lot of times people just pop in and pop out. So we've got Michelle Wilfong's over here. I see her. I knew she would be. She's doing double duty. She's over on YouTube and she's over on TikTok here. Thanks, Michelle. I know that you know what to watch for. So just take care of it if we've got some trolley trolls. We've got it looks like Nunya. I think it's Nunya with a K. Dean Justin. We've got Lucifer _Faith over here. Interesting because we're going to be talking about demons tonight, everybody. And Nicole Thomas Ryan goes, tomorrow's the big day. I have my big interview. Hang on to that thought. Let's see. We've got Sharon Spring is here. Thank you for clicking on the likes, you guys. The more clicky clicks, the better, right? More people will see us. Oh, we've even got Shrek over here on TikTok. Let me see. And that's what Nunya said too. Flush out the trolls. That's right. Okay, I think we hit most of you. Like, yes, by 5. Mike, I'm not even going to. Oh, you almost got me there. Yes, by 5. I'm not saying that out loud, but they did say hello. So I say hello. You almost got me. I was born a while ago, but I wasn't born yesterday. So I won't be able to tell you all what they typed there, but they almost got me. So, Nicole, you were talking about your big day tomorrow for your interview. So we talked a little bit about that, I think, on Thursday night. So, and I talked to you guys a little bit about your energy field or your aura. And so when you go into that interview, even though you're nervous, if you can, I'll never tell you what to do. These are suggestions for anybody who has to step into a place where they feel nervous in the way of being seen, whether it's a job interview, room full of people, public speaking. Sorry, my drink's going all over the place. You know, your energy field, and people have never been taught to realize this, how powerful we are as human beings. So what I mean by that is we go back to the principles of energy. Everything on this planet, from the most microscopic thing to the biggest thing you could possibly think of, it's all made up of energy. One of the principles of energy is it can neither be created nor destroyed, but it can be moved or transferred from one place to another. So we are energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our words are energy, and our emotions are energy. And we are powerful as human beings. I don't say that from an egotistical perspective. I say that from, we've never been taught to realize that. We've never been taught that there's so many things we can learn to do and do as human beings. And especially when you've been in the developed world, we've always been taught that it's not possible, but it is. So we, again, are made up of energy. We also have something called an aura. Now that sounds a little woo-woo, and I'm not really one of those woo-woo people that does spirituality and psychics, and I try to keep it real. So let's call it your personal space. Say you're in a public space and somebody comes up to you that you don't know, and they get right up to your face, right in your space, and they start talking to you. The majority of people will automatically back up. And when you think about it, it feels icky. You start thinking, what the heck's the matter with that person? Like, geez, I don't even know them. What it is if you know them really well, somebody you love or you really care about, you're more comfortable with a closer distance. So how would you know that? How would you feel that as, say, you couldn't see or you had your eyes closed? It's because we have layers of energy around us, and we can actually physically feel it. So what we can do with that energy field is, and this is how powerful we are, it starts with your mind. So going to a job interview like Nicole is going tomorrow, even though you may not feel this, okay, even though you might be super freaked out, nervous, scared, you really want this job, but you want to walk in confident, comfortable. One of the best things you can do is ground yourself before. There's many, many things you can do to ground yourself, including if you're in a place where you can kick your shoes and socks off and put your feet on the ground. You can imagine tree roots growing down through the feet, but even just bare feet on soil will help you ground, okay? You could hug a tree. I know it sounds crazy, but you can. There's many ways to do it, so you can look this up if you want, because we're not going to do the whole show tonight on spiritual stuff, but I usually talk about what you guys want to talk about. So you want to make sure you're grounded. You can always talk to spirit, whatever your belief system is. I call it spirit collectively. We all have guides. We all have angels. They are non-denominational, so we're not talking about religion. I'm not knocking religion, but that's not where I'm coming from. And whether you believe in them or not, they believe in you. So you can ask them to help you out, ask them to lend you some confidence going in. But one of the most powerful things you can do, you can imagine, if you want, just you can think of it if you want a bubble. You're wrapped almost in a bubble. That's your energy field, right? But it goes out about 3 to 5 feet, depending on who you talk to, your energy field. And this has been measured by a particular type of camera called Carillion camera, Carillion photography. You can actually see it. And most people can see auras. A lot of little kids can, I think animals can, and you can teach yourself how to see it. So you want to imagine that bubble around you, that energy field. It's bright. It's amazing. You're confident. Craft it in your own mind. How do you want it to look, right? You want to be seeing. And there's a saying, fake it till you make it. So even though you don't believe it, put that energy out there. You're big, you're confident, you're incredible, you're knowledgeable, all these things you want your future employer, for example, with Nicole, to feel, right? Once you do that, the other person doesn't know what it is about you, especially if they haven't talked about the topics we're talking tonight. But there's just something about that particular person. Let's use Nicole. Nicole's walking in. She looks comfortable. She looks comfortable. She looks confident. She looks amazing. It's just something that's very, not even physically attractive, but just very attractive. You know, when you've met someone that you're just drawn to, you really feel them even before you really get to know them. That's what we're looking for. Same thing if you, oh, Howie says he's doing, hang on, I'm going to go back to it. Howie says he's doing text to speech. I know, I hate that. I spend more time auto-correcting. That's why I voice message everyone. Hang on. Same thing, you're in a place and you don't really want to be seen. Take that energy bubble and wrap it all around you. Wrap it, pull it in, right? You can even say within, I call it the mind's eye. You don't have to say it out loud. I'm invisible to no one. You got to work on this and you got to practice it. But it works. I'm telling you, it works. I always say I try to walk the walk of the talk that I do. So the things that I'm sharing with you, I always say I'm not an expert. I think if you meet anybody, and especially when it comes to the paranormal, even the spiritual field, if they tell you they're an expert, my thing I share with people is run, because nobody's an expert. We're human beings. We make mistakes, right? Nobody is perfect. So I share with you, whether it's on this show when we get a chance to hang out, or on Thursday nights when we hang out with Dave and I, we're not experts, and I'm not an expert. What I am is I can tell you I'm going to share what I know either from the various mentors and courses I've taken, my life experience, what I received from spirit. And and that's where interesting conversations happen when we can talk about things that maybe, like Dave and I don't always agree on Thursday nights. And that's the cool part about it. We can have a really cool discussion and he hears me, I hear him. We present it to the audience while we're live, and you guys make up your own mind, and maybe you've got other perspectives, and that's the beauty in it. We all learn from one another. So let me go up a bit to say hi again here. I like to know if you're just joining me on TikTok, you are listening to the Angel Rock on UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of the beautiful city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Now, the thing is, I have not caught a string key yet. I've checked all the boxes, you guys, for TikTok. They will not give me the darn string key yet. I'm working on it. So I'm streaming to TikTok. But if you want to join the conversation with all these incredible people here, head over to UFO Paranormal Radio Network on UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on YouTube. Better yet, you can hit out also the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin. And you can join the conversation. We'd love to see you there. And you can join all these wonderful people. I'm getting to your comment, Howie. So, that's right. Eshell over on Instagram. Eshell17. Thank you, Eshell. So we also have, hang on, Leslie1266. I'm going to highlight this. I had an interview last Friday and didn't get the job, but figured my guides and the universe has something better for me. That is a beautiful way of looking at it. And I agree with you 100%, Leslie, because when you start to really get down into the nitty gritty of things, of why things happen, and we always say things happen for a reason, it's because there is something bigger and better for you out there. I truly believe it. We've got Julie Jean Bassett. I'm also going to give her a shout out. You guys check her out on juliejeanbassett.com. She's an incredible animal communicator. She's helped me with many of my animals over the years. Well, it's not even been years, maybe a year and a half. She's also, I've taken the animal communication course with her that she ran. I think she ran it last weekend, if I'm not mistaken. And then she's also a shamanic practitioner. And I've had a session with her. I need to book another with her, but I am telling you the amount of healing, and it was phenomenal. Really, really phenomenal. And I still go to healers, even though I'm a healer. I find it so much easier to go to somebody that is very objective than trying to do it on all myself. So check her out. She's amazing. Hang on, we're going through here because Howie asked us a question. He says, hey, Laura, how do you feel about intelligent to residual? Do you believe they give out the same energy and affect equipment the same? That's a good question. I'm going to get to that. I know what you asked, Howie. I figured it out. And Nicole says, it's a 3-hour drive, so I will be doing a lot of breathing and meditating while my husband drives for me. I love it. And you know what? I know you're going to do really well in the interview. I know you are. Okay, Nicole, let us know on Thursday, I guess, when we're back here, how you're doing. Let's say hi to everybody over on TikTok here. We got Kent Gilkinson, Amber H, Nunya. I really appreciate that. Michelle Wilfong, all the likes you guys are clicking on. I really, really appreciate it. Oops, we almost lost the screen there. Gracie L, we got here. Let's see if I'm missing anybody else. So we have a question. So Howie's asking basically, with paranormal activity, and I want to talk to you guys about demons tonight too. So he's asking, when you go into a haunting, or even if you see a show with a haunting, he's asking about intelligent interaction with spirit or residual activity. And he's asking me, do they give out the same energy and affect equipment the same? That one, I think it depends on where you are and who you're dealing with. Because first of all, intelligent, and I lived in an extremely, extremely haunted house. My partner, Del, was thrown 15 feet across the kitchen. We've been bit, burnt, scratched, choked. My partner, Del, almost died. I could go on and on and on. Now, we shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor. It's called Demonic Hauntings, Season 4, Episode 9. You can see it on YouTube. And I'm very grateful that they did share our story. A lot of it didn't quite happen the way it was shown. The really cool part is one of the intuitive psychics that comments on the episode is Michelle DeRoche. Michelle DeRoche and I did not know each other back then when we filmed it years ago. We had no control over what they filmed. First time somebody sees it, that's how we saw it. And most of it didn't quite happen the way they showed it. Now, we understand they did things the reason why they did. They had to tell the story in a short amount of time, and they did what they could. But the last part of the show, that is exactly how it happened in the episode when my partner Del almost died. It was crazy. Back to Howie's question, though. So residual, the way I look at it is, again, with everything being energy, especially when there's been something tragic or something that somebody loses their life. And there's many reasons why. We can even think of Gettysburg, where the battles went on there. And that's where I have seen, I've not been there, but I've seen a lot of examples of what we would call residual activity. I think there was some time, I don't know why it's coming to mind, the Winchester House in the US. And it looks like the spirit just seems either to appear at the same time every day, doing the exact same thing. You can try and interact with them. They neither see you, hear you, nothing. It's literally like a movie playing. Okay. And, or it'll happen over and over. Sometimes you observe it with your eyes. Sometimes you can see it on a camera. Whereas intelligent, which happened in our previous home, and I do have those videos, some of the EVPs from my previous home that are pinned to the top of my TikTok. I encourage you to listen to those. Those were, they're also pinned, I think, at the top of Facebook too. I've uploaded them. It was just with the paranormal conference and things like that. It was easier. And I called in, it was in 2017, from the most active part of my house to a friend of mine who has an incredible show on Facebook and YouTube called Paranormal Soup. And the host is Jason Bland. He was such a help to us in the years because I really wasn't looking for the paranormal. It found us. And I'd forgotten his Halloween show was on. I was watching the Chester Bennington Memorial Concert. And I realized at 5 to 1, I'm in Eastern time, PM or AM, sorry. Oh crap, I almost missed the Halloween show. I'll pop in. There's 5 minutes left to say hello. Well, Jason was on a network at that time and got an extra half hour permission to go longer. And he did. So I called in live, completely unplanned. And what you hear in that recording is mind blowing. To me, it is one of the most class A plus recordings I've ever heard, including by the end of the call. It was about 6 minutes long. This entity called Jason by his name. There's something that comes through in the first couple minutes. I don't know if it was something that is some weird language that I've never heard, or whether it came through in reverse, but it was a completely different male's voice. It was insane. That was intelligent. So I really can't. I think it depends on where you are, Howie. But to me, if your equipment is working properly, right, and it's energy that's occurring, it you're still going to pick it up. But I don't know, and I'm feeling into this, and I feel like sometimes residual could be a little less powerful than something that's intelligent and is intentional in the interaction that you're having with it. That's my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts because you do a lot more paranormal investigating than I do, Howie, and I'd love to hear it. Okay, I'm going to move down a little bit further, and I'd love to hear you guys over on TikTok. What's your thoughts? What do you think? Do you think intelligent, I'll say entities that you interact with in a paranormal environment, or from what you've seen, versus residual activity that you see or that you experience, do you think it affects the equipment? And I think he said, yeah, does it affect the equipment the same? I also keep feeling this is coming from spirit, so I will say thank you, spirit. I also believe we have free will on the other side, if you will, across the veil. So I guess even though it is residual, is kind of like watching a movie, I guess it depends how much energy they put into it and put out, right? Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this in the chat and over on Instagram, over on TikTok. You guys in the chat, let me know what you think. We've also got BMS Beauty Makeup Supply joined in. Hello and welcome. So I'm going to go down a little further down here. Hang on. I'm producing while I'm doing this, guys. So Julie's laughing. Kudos to Nicole, supportive hubby. And then Howie asked, and do you feel with Del? Well, oh, that's opening a can of worms, Howie. What went on in my previous home? He wants to know, do my partner and I, Del, feel that what was going on in my home was spirit or alien? I will answer that question. Hang on. Heidi said, I watched your story today, Lorilei. I remembered I had seen it before. Wow. Yeah, most people find it pretty terrifying. And I'm going to say this. Hello, Rhonda Harris. Were your ears ringing? I was just talking about you at the beginning of the show. This is Howie's co-host on the Orion Effect on Rift Nation Network, and she's amazing. And Howie's saying props to Midland Paranormal. Jason, Paranormal Soup too. We've got Connie Martins here. She says hello. And here's Mish from the future over in Australia. She says, hi, I'm late. She's always ahead of us. It's Tuesday morning over there. So I'm going to answer your question, Leslie, in just a sec here. So if you're asking me, I do believe that was there. The first contact I had in a dream that I still feel like it happened 10 minutes ago rather than 15, 16 years ago. It was extremely negative and very, very heavy. I believe what I experienced in that home, and we had strange experiences. There were four main entities, but some that would pop in, some that would pop out. I've told the story about the incredibly huge, looked like the size of a traveling, what do I want to call it? Like a trailer that you could live in, like a Winnebago kind of thing. And it was almost shimmery and see-through, white wolf with the most piercing, incredible aqua blue eyes. I experienced watching that 10 feet away from me outside at like 2 a.m. talking to a friend over on the West Coast. She couldn't see it, but I could see it. Dell and I also experienced a black entity like that, wolf-like with red flaming eyes. And we weren't the only ones that experienced this either. Our children did, or my children, he's stepdad to them, but also other people who were in our home also experienced the activity. And I was just remembered, I got off on another tangent. Michelle DeRoche, who commented on our episode on Paranormal Survivor, like I said, I didn't know her, but now she's on our network. She's our station manager, and she's got an incredible show on Wednesday and Thursday nights with her co-host Amelia Pisano, and it's called The Outer Realms. You guys, you don't want to miss that. You got to head over to UPRN or the YouTube or Facebook. You got to check it out. So that's now you asked me. So I believe it was spirit, but the reason why I'm going to address the alien thing, Joe Montaldo, who owns this network, also has ICAR, which is International Center for Alien Research. He's been doing a 20-year plus study on Rh negative blood. You guys in the chat have heard me, if you're over and I can see it, most of you have heard me say this. He said he's been doing a 20 plus year study on people with Rh negative blood, green eyes, and red hair, and what type of experience, if any, of abduction or UFO or ET experiences, because he says, I've heard him in two different interviews, who he's told me personally it was 70,000 years ago. So I'm going to go with that versus 20,000 years ago. But up to before 70,000 years ago, those three genetic attributes did not exist in our DNA. So where did it come from? Now, I don't have green eyes, I don't have red hair, and I don't have Rh negative blood, but my mother does. All three checks those boxes. Now, she doesn't believe in any of this stuff or what I do, but I can tell you when I was in that previous home, and I've lived in the city my whole life, I know it very well. I was a traveling community nurse, so I know every little back road and shortcut and what have you to visit people in their homes, right? Full time when I was doing it. So I was going to the store, and I've hurt my back as a nurse, so I can't physically work as a nurse anymore. I use it every day otherwise. But I blinked, and as I was opening my eyes, my phone was ringing. It was the strangest experience ever. It was about an hour and a half later. My was miles away. My car was parked, but in the opposite direction to the way I was traveling. And I still remember this building. It was like a half circle and the windows were broken out. It looked like it wasn't occupied, but my phone was ringing. And it was my partner, Dal, going, where the HELL hockey sticks are you? You were just supposed to be gone 5 minutes. And I hadn't been sleeping. There were days I would go days without sleep sometimes because one of us always stayed awake to watch over the other three that were in our home to make sure they were safe. And I'm a real night owl. So is Dal, but it was usually me. And so he knew I was tired. And I guess he was worried I was going to get in an accident. And I had to say to him, I don't know. And I remember him going, what do you mean you don't know? Like I said, I don't know where I am. I'll call you back. I was shocked I could get service because I was actually rural to the city, like outside the city. It was, and we don't have a lot of service rurally. And I had to check the GPS. And I realized, I don't remember what street I was on because I was just so shocked. Like, how did I end up here? And I called him back and said, you're not going to believe this. I blinked and I am here. Sounds crazy. I have had some kind of missing time. I can't explain it. But also there's a very good medium that Howie, I know you know, and some of you in the chat may know by the name of Katrina Cooper. And years ago, I had a reading with her just to see what was she picking up in my previous home. And I've talked to her when she's been on this show, The Angel Rock, and explained to her how I felt. But I had this reading and she said, this is so strange. I'm hearing these sounds that sound like something off of Star Trek if you were on a starship, or Star Wars. And she said it's like a bunch of clicks and just the noises you would hear in the background on the ship. And she said, the only thing I can say is this is something I'm picking up alien. And she said there is a rock, like almost like a crystal, that was buried over 10,000 years ago, deep in the ground below your home. And she said, your property was never meant to be lived on. And so we finished the reading, and I said, thank you. And I went, oh my God, is that girl done lost her mind? Like, what the heck? Because I had really, I was started locally and worked my way out globally at the time, looking for help. And I've always used the gifts that I have, but I never labeled them, nor was I aware of them. This experience I had, I'm doing the kind of work I am now because, sorry guys, we're not going to be having anybody live. I apologize on TikTok. We're live on our network on UPRN. If I know you, maybe, but if I don't know you, I can't do that. I'm sorry, because we got to abide by FTC guidelines and what have you. Anyways, where was I? So I started thinking, like, what is she talking about? I've never had somebody tell me this before. And then I stopped myself and I went, no, Katrina. And I always say, even though I'm a psychic medium, there are people I have met, especially with mediumship, that they're the type of person, how I describe them is, if they gave me the lottery numbers today, I'd run out and buy a ticket. None of us do that kind of thing, but that's how accurate they are. And so I don't know if that answers the question, Howie. Do I believe it was alien? No. But then we get into, and I work with angels, love angels, but how do we know angels aren't some type of ET? And then that brings me into the demon, because there's a reason why I want to bring this up. But I'm going to answer a few more questions. Leslie says, is residual only from those who have crossed over, or can it be from any past event? And I think that's a great question. As I lean into it, I'm going to say anything is possible, because if the land holds energy, I don't know, could a portal have been open? Could something come through? Could it be reenacting your camera, picking it up, the sounds? Because I know as a medium that it hasn't happened very often, but there has been once or twice where I have had somebody come through that was actually still alive. And what it was their higher self was coming through. And it was a message for the person I was reading, that the higher self of the person came through. They were still alive. They weren't deceased. So it could happen. I think that's a great question. I also want to hear from all of you. What do you guys think? What are your thoughts on all this? Because I don't have to have all the answers here. I want to hear what you all think. Hang on, we're going to pop over to Instagram. Okay, still got Eshell over there, Eshell17 and Beauty Supply. Let's see, I got to put my glasses on. Thank you for liking the live. I really, really appreciate it. Got Gracie L's here. We got Michelle here, Wilfong. I won't have anybody on yet, but if we do some readings, Michelle, we might be able to. You got Libra Rye. We've got Red. Thank you for joining us. John Barnes. So Kobe. Red. We've got Gorglax. Kate. Darlington. Chantel Kramer. Crystal. Oh, please forgive me. I'm going to call you Crystal Z or Z, because I can't even say that name. I'm sorry. Julie's here. Real Chad Reed, Levi Nicholas, Kat Shoddy Swiss, Paul Axer. We got a lot of people on here over on TikTok. So thank you for joining us. Please keep clicking the live, or like if you can, and we can get some more hearts. We'd love to have that. I really appreciate it. So let's go down here with the comments on the main chat here. Everybody's just saying hi to Mish. Let's see. Rhonda says, nope, just got off work and I'm listening as I meal prep for the week. and Howie's I think saying to Rhonda that you will be on Wednesday. Julie Jean Bassett said, sending positive energy for all those looking for a job right now. And I second that. Thank you, Julie, for saying that. I'm going to highlight it. Oh, we got Kevin here. Z-Sun Dragon. He says, hi, all. Mish says, I'm A negative when it comes to blood type. Oh, that's interesting. Mish said, my eyes turn greenish when I cry. So Julie says, the animal communication workshop. Oh, why do I keep forgetting you said this, Julie? And why did I think that? Because I remember you told me the dates. Her animal communication course on Julie Jean Bassett, BASSETT.com. She's running another animal communication course. And if you've ever wondered about animal communication, or you guys thought, how does it happen? I could never do it. I believe it. And I know Julie has seconded this as well in the chats. It's our birthright as human beings. So her course has been moved to November 9th and 10th. I forgot because she didn't have internet. I didn't forget what happened to you. Forgot the date. She didn't have internet because of those storms that went through in the US. And I send all my prayers, positive energy, love, and healing to anybody who has been affected by these horrific storms in the US or anywhere else around the world. Okay, so Howie says, Kevin says, when driving with a friend, we have had missing time and gas gauge did not move after hours as well. He says, I'm B positive. Not sure that is a thing, but I am definitely with high strangeness happenings. Yes, you are. You shared some of those stories before, Kevin. Definitely. Okay, so let's back that up a bit. You don't have to have Rh negative blood, green eyes, and red hair to have an ET experience or missing time or an abduction experience. Now, I do believe that I've heard this before, again, having many conversations with Joe. I don't get to see him like I used to. We actually broadcast out of Joe's home in New Orleans, even though I'm in Canada, and we got people from all over the world here tonight, and we really appreciate you all being here. Actually, we're right on the hour. So if you're just tuning in, I'm going to do our station ID. You're listening to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on 105.3 FM out of Mississippi and 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana. And this is the Angel Rock, and I'm your host, Lorilei Potvin. If you're just tuning in, especially on Instagram or TikTok, I am a host here on the network. On this show, we usually have a guest, but our guest that was planned, unfortunately, was not able to make it this evening, but he's coming back because I'm booking into the new year. We got some of February and January all filled up, so it's filling up quick, everybody. We're going right up to Christmas. I do have an opening the night before New Year's Eve, so December 30th. And I think I might keep that open to hang out with all of you because I love when we do this. You guys all ask the best questions. And we get to have the most interesting conversations. So his name's Christian Lataha, and he's been on the show before. He was supposed to come on tonight because he wrote a book that was instantly banned the minute he tried to publish it on Amazon. Not only is he banned from publishing on Amazon, he can't even open an account to shop on Amazon anywhere in the world. Now, what his book is about, he claims, and I believe him, I really do. I've had many off-air conversations with him, that he is one of the boys of Montauk, Camp Hope, I think it was called in the U.S., and the series Stranger Things by Netflix was based on some of the stories and what went on at that base. And in his book, Chris talks about that it was based on him and a few other of the boys that were there with him. And we were going to talk about the Montauk chair tonight. We were going to talk about time travel, alternate dimensions. We were going to talk about his experiences with demonic entities as well as extraterrestrials. So we'll just have that conversation in the new year. But I kind of thought it'd be great for Halloween. So he's had quite an experience. If you're on Substack, you can find a Substack, and he's got quite a bit more information on there. His story is mind-blowing. MK Ultra, Monarch Butterfly Programming, you name it. It is incredible what he went through. So Mish says, okay, why don't we pick up past people from billions of years ago? Okay, so as I lean into that, Michelle, what I'm hearing is you may very well be picking up on people from past years ago, but more than likely, and again, this is coming from spirit, so I thank spirit, there really isn't a need for you to pick up on them. Like, unless there was something specific that they would need to share with you or information, right? Plus, you've never physically interacted with them. They're still part of your lineage and your background, but say family members or friends or people that have been in your lifetime or a few generations before, that's usually what we hear people connecting with, and myself included. And I can tell you, in the years I've been doing this, no, I've never specifically picked up on past people from billions of years ago. But where I have interacted with this, I have a very good friend. Well, I have two really close friends that we work behind the scenes, connecting with spirit and all kinds of interesting stuff we work on. But the one of them, Debbie A. Anderson, you can check her out. But I have to think for a second. I think she's under Vibrational Energy on Facebook or same type of website. Her husband, Chris Lee, does past life and future life regression hypnosis. And I have had a couple sessions with him, and it is mind blowing. You remember everything that happened. It's not like when you go to a bar or an auditorium or something and you see an entertainment hypnotist. That's not what it is. You know what's going on. You experience it, but you remember everything. Well, most things you do. And I have gone back to past lives. I have gone back and visited way back in the day. One of my memories was, I think, thousands of years ago that I went back into. So we can, but that's it. You guys always ask the best questions. Hi, Judy Thompson. She says, hi, Lorilei. And Z Sun Dragon or Kevin says, residual energy is left over from spirit or from the living. Can be, for example, left from people moving out, prior tenants type things. So yeah, can be in a place, or you said can be in a space or a place. I agree. So I thought it was a good question. I appreciate your answer, and I agree 100%, Kevin, that because it's energy, right? And some people are so sensitive to energy. So, or if there's a particular purpose or reason why you may experience or see it, even though the person hasn't passed. But I definitely agree. And that's a very good example when you're moving into a place where other people have lived, especially if there's been a lot of negativity. So Mish says, for example, the Mayans. Well, I think personally, if you really wanted to connect with the Mayans, you could ask your guides and angels or go into the Akashic record. I mean, there's so many different ways you could do this, and ask, like, what do you want to know about the Mayans? Because and I'm a firm believer in this. When we do this kind of work, we call it the clairs, right? There's clairsentience, there's claircognizance, there's clairaudience, there's clairvoyance. There's so many. And claircognizance is knowing. You know it. You don't know why you know it, but you know it to the depths of your core, right? That is one of the things that I definitely have. I know that. But I believe that once you start to meditate and you start to connect and get to know your guys and your team, if you will, for a better name for it, if you ask spirit to hold classes with you every morning at, I don't know, pick a time. It doesn't have to say every Wednesday at 9 a.m. and you go into a meditation, spirit will show up with you. So if you want to connect with the Mayans and you got questions for the Mayans and it's meant to happen, it should be no reason why it wouldn't. I mean, if you want to obtain some knowledge or some learning from them, or better yet, every human being, I also believe, is capable of learning how to remote view. There's no reason why you couldn't, once you know how to remote view, go back in time and visit the Mayans and find out what you want to know. We have so many gifts. That's how I started this show, as human beings, that we've never been taught is possible, or that we can do, right? So there's many different ways to get information. So if it served a purpose and you really wanted to connect with them, you could do it. So we got Michelle Plummer here. Hello, Michelle. I got to meet Michelle too, and when she came up for the conference, and she's so amazing. She's lovely. Um, and Connie says it's an unbelievable story. I think you were. I you'll have to remind me what were you referring to, the story I was sharing about my paranormal experience or another story. I don't want to think it's all about me. So Nicole says, wow. And then Cole says, if we continue to reincarnate, we would then, oh, it popped way up there. Hang on. Okay, if we continue to reincarnate, we would then be connecting with people from billions of years ago because of reincarnation. Yes, I was thinking about that as well, Nicole. But I have a theory, and I don't know if it's right or not, but because the past, present, and future all happen at the same time, in theory, and there is no time on the other side, that's a man-made concept, if you will, for us to kind of make sense of this reality that we're in while we're in this human life. That and some people will tell you as a medium that if they try to connect with somebody and they say, no, sorry, I can't connect with them, they've already reincarnated. I don't Maybe for them that was the experience, but I truly believe there is almost a piece of our soul, if you will, for explanation sense, of our higher self that always resides, if you will, back home. I call it back home. And so that we still could continue to connect with that higher self piece. I don't know if we could connect with somebody that's reincarnated. I think we could, like the actual person, but they'd have to be open to the experience, right? Because we have free will, unless, again, you connect with their higher self, which is part of what's referred to as the universal consciousness. We are all connected as one. The easiest analogy, Spirit gave me this one too, is that, excuse me, say the belief is, and whatever your belief is in a higher power, even if you don't have one, you had to come from somewhere, right? So say, I'm going to call it source or God, just because that's my belief. I'm not pushing it on anybody. You do whatever you need to do and with whom or what your belief is. But say source was, and I'm not disrespecting, but say source was made out of this mountain of Play-Doh, right? And source decided it was going to create the universe and everything in it. So he takes a piece of that Play-Doh and he molds it and he makes one universe and another universe and everything down to the tiniest microscopic being, right? Now, is everything separate? Well, it's separate and unique. But when you look at it, it's all come from the same mountain of clay, right? We're all connected. That's what goes on right now. We're I think an everlasting soul supernatural entity, if you will, and I'm saying that in a positive light, that right now we're just a soul having a human experience in this lifetime, right? So we are not our physical body, because once we leave this earth and go back home, as I call it, we continue to live and we continue to go on. And I truly, truly believe that. And so Connie made a good point here. She said, even shaking someone's hand, there's energy transfer. There sure is. No, I could never understand why. Like, don't get me wrong. I adore my sons, but I'm not the type that'll run up and be hugging and hanging off of them. I would always ask their permission because I've never liked to be touched. I just don't like it. You'll never see me having PDA out in public. I'm just not like that. You need to go for it. Nothing wrong with it. But for me, it literally almost felt like it hurt. Now, there's many reasons why. I'm not going to go into tonight personally why, but also I can feel people's touch. Like the same thing, like my youngest son, I've talked about him many times on this show, who has severe autism. Give me a sec, just going to grab a drink. He has severe autism. And where was I going with that, you guys? I lost my train of thought as I went to get a drink. I know what it is. I know if I keep talking long enough, it'll come back. So even now, and he's almost 27, he'll be 27 in March. He knows, because I do energy healing and therapeutic touch, which is a misnomer because you don't touch the person, you work with their energy field or their aura. He'll say, Mommy, he might say, my knee hurts. Feel it, Mommy, feel it. And what he means by that is he knows, and I'll close my eyes and I can run my hand over it. And always I'll stop exactly where it hurts. I can feel how big it is and around it. For me, I feel a temperature change. Some people don't. All of a sudden, people might pick up something and then it'll feel like a blank spot. It might feel cold. You might get a zapping feeling or whatever. And I do pick up other people's pain. I can feel it. Even picking up, this is where another clair comes in, clairsentience, right through touch, if you will. But picking up, say, old jewelry at a jewelry store, an antique place, and I pick it up a lot of times. I can literally see the movie of where the person who wore it last, especially how they got it, how it came into their life or what have you. And I'm not special, is what I'm trying to say to people. I'm not saying I'm way up on this pedestal and I can do all this stuff. I believe human beings can all do this. Some of us hang on to these abilities from when we were very young, because I believe young children especially can see spirit, as can animals. Other people, as they start to get older, they start hearing, you're too old to be doing that. There's nothing there. That's just all part of your imagination. You need to grow up. You're too young, whatever it is, right? And so we start to get the sense of there's something wrong with me talking about this and seeing it and experience it. So we kind of tuck it way in the back and yeah, we're not going to go there again. And so I think it's just kind of like riding a bike. You got to put the work in and you got to strengthen it and build up the muscles and get the coordination, what have you. But I think we can all get in touch with these abilities. Each one of us is unique and incredible, and we all have special attributes. Michelle is asking, curious, wondering if all the Claires are named Claire for a subconscious reason. No, because Claire isn't spelled C-L-A-R-E, but it's a good question. It's spelled C-L-A-I-R. I know Claire in French because I do speak and read French. It means clear, right? But a lot of those languages like French and Spanish and Portuguese and Italian, and I think even a bit of German, don't quote me on that last one, all come from a language which is no longer, it's considered a dead language, which is Latin. So that's what the clair means. Clear seeing is clairvoyance. Clear hearing is clairaudience. Clear cognizance is clear knowing. Clairsentience, there's more to it than touch, but being able to, through your senses, pick stuff up. Clairgustinance or gustinance, depending on how you want to say it, is clear taste. That works a lot of times for me as well, especially in the animal communication course. I can definitely say one of the animals I was reading, and I should have known who it was, but I didn't by the picture. This dog was on medication, and I picked up the taste of the medication. So that's what Claire means. Okay, going a little bit lower here, we got Kevin, Rosy Sun Dragon says, I have an army of guides and I get downloads and messages all the time. If I need them, I can call upon them anytime, anywhere. I see, hear, feel. It's all the Claires all the time for me, LOL. And all of us could do that, right? We've just got to continue to do the work, maintain. I used to hate to hear this years ago. You've got to raise your vibration. They say, what the heck does that mean? Now I know, right? So raising your vibration, basically living in joy, doing the things that bring you joy, practices of gratitude, service to others rather than service to self, understanding unconditional love, and doing our very, very, very best to live in and I guess project it to others is unconditional love. Working on ourselves, letting go of the baggage, basically, I'll call it, working on the healing. And I've got all kinds of people here. We've got Halfway Paranormal. I've got a whole bunch of people over on TikTok. Guys, I'm live on the Angel Rock right now on our network on UFO Paranormal Network. And it's also United Public Radio Network. If you want to join in the conversation where you can chat with everybody, if you head over to the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin on YouTube, or you can also go to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network on YouTube, you will be able to join. You can also go to Facebook, it's Canada's Most Haunted. You can go to my Facebook profile, which is Lorilei Potvin, and it's public. Let's head over to Instagram too as we're talking. Oh, same people over there. It might have cut off. Sometimes it cuts off after an hour. So let's see. We'll get rid of that comment. Hang on, Leslie. And Leslie says, well, thanks, Lorilei. I never thought of having a class with my guides or higher self. That's exciting. Yes, it is. And I'm telling you, I've done it before. Also, what you can do is before you go to bed, right, in the morning, wake up if you can, have time, have a little practice of gratitude. Perfect time to connect with your guides and your team is right when you're in, it's called the hypnagogic state, depending on how you say it. And it's right when you're in that phase, just as you're about to fall asleep, but you're not really awake. And it's even better, I find, at least for myself, in the morning when you wake up, but you're not quite awake. Like you could fall back to sleep very easily, but you could also get up if you really had to. If you say your alarm was going off and you had to drag yourself out of bed, that is a perfect time to connect with spirit because we're very open then. And these are things I do before I go to bed at night. I'm very thankful, go over my day for the things I've been thankful for. I do have a bad back. This bed I'm on right now, by the time I lay down, oh my God, it literally feels like I'm sleeping on a cloud. So it's like I have a reminder to start going through the things I'm thankful for. And then before I go to sleep, I ask my team, I envision myself, depending on what color I'm drawn to, and on my YouTube channel, not a big YouTube channel, but under the video section, if you scroll right down to the bottom, I have some teaching classes, but one of them is, I think it's something like how to feel energy and color. And it takes longer to watch a video than it does to do. Most of my videos are that way because I like to walk people through it. So when you finish the video, you don't go, what was step 3 again? What was she talking about? So I walk you through how to do it. And I teach you how to feel energy. Oh, we got our little puzzle piece. Never fails on TikTok. Hang on, guys. So I walk you through how to feel it, how to create energy. And then I walk you through different colors. And I walk you through, what does black feel like to you? What does aqua feel like to you? And so that you start developing and tuning into, because that's kind of how spirit communicates. It's not always clairaudiently. I don't hear voices. I hear it within the mind's eye. It's in my own voice. I know it's not me because I don't talk that way. And it comes up with things that I would never say. And it's usually meant in love for either my highest good or the people maybe I'm working with. Oh, sorry, the story of my guest. Yes, you are right, Connie, because Connie has read Chris Latara's book. She said the story of your guest with the MK Ultra, and he was supposed to be on tonight. I think he's coming on Monday, January 20th. I think he picked that. Let's see. Heidi Gall says, hello, Z-Sun. I'm outside in the garden listening. Hang on. And Mish says, we are all flowers on the same bush. I like that, Michelle. That's great, Mish. She goes, even the fruit and vegetables we consume have been touched by many others before we consume them. You can use organite to clear that energy. You can use clear quartz. There's many things you can do to clear that energy. Michelle knows because Michelle makes organite. And the reason why I know she does that, because it's almost like we celebrate the same birthday in Australia, but hers is the day before. And I love resin. You guys have heard me talk about it here. Maybe not on TikTok, but over here you have on the other platforms. And Michelle does resin and makes organite. And Heidi's saying, gorgeous, bluest blue, mile high sunshine and 69 degrees. It was beautiful here today, too. And Heidi says, I'm still in my jammies, too, Mish. I put in my solo shows, jump into comfy jammies if you can, or clothes, whatever you want. I don't care what you're wearing. I'm not going to watch you, whatever you're wearing, but be comfortable. Grab a yummy snack and a great drink, and let's sit around and chat. And Heidi says, as above, so below. Kevin says, oh, yes. Feel everything that is going on too around me. People kissing at the counter and wondering why I'm getting these feelings. Look up and see that, oh, my God, or get a room, people. That's funny, Kevin. Heidi says, I'm super duper sensitive, have felt energy ever since you can remember. Yeah. And you can shield yourself from that too if you need to, if it's really causing troubles for you. And yes, she's just echoing what I said. We all have these abilities. It is our birthright. I believe this 100% too. Unfortunately, many people shut off their abilities when we were young. Yes, which means they're still there. You're going to have to work on it. I didn't start doing this work till later in life. And through my paranormal experiences, what sort of reinvigorated it, got me back on the path I'm on now. Kevin says, I agree, Lorilei, about touching jewelry in a store, any object for that matter, can get a vibe from that shock-like feeling and even see images from said object. Yeah, that's what happens with me. Sometimes it's like a movie starts playing in my head and I can literally see it. Oh, Mish says spelling's not my best quality. Oh, girl, don't worry about that. We're not in class, not that kind of class, and we're certainly not going to be correcting anybody's spelling. And Heidi says, I honestly experienced all the clairs. Most of us have, but just like anything in life, right? There's some things that we may be very, very good at, like it'll sort of be our best, if you will. Some people have all the clairs. And like we all do, but what I mean is they're all equally the same. It just depends. And say one is weaker than the other. You work with your team, you practice, and I always encourage you guys to work, and girls to work with different mentors, because I think you get a more well-rounded experience and education. I still take classes. I love to take classes. I love to learn. I have a goal that I try to learn something new every day if possible. I still take them. I'm starting a new course and I've kind of committed myself to it. I have the outline written. I'm just looking for a place where to have it all in one place. It's not going to be just a one-day course. It's going to be probably a couple months, once a week. It's going to be like an introduction to spirituality. But even if you are in this spiritual world and you're wanting to learn about a bunch of different things, maybe you've never ever talked about or learned about, yeah, that's what we're going to do. So you guys can watch for that. It's coming. And I'm trying to get a domain name as well. I'm going to kind of have, I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I want a section for the resin type stuff, and it'll be paranormal. Everything I do will be under all one roof. Heidi said, I do my gratitudes under the night skies and have received some amazing guidance from my guides. Yes, absolutely. I'm going to go down to the bottom. And Heidi says, agree, Lorilei. Some, I have no clue what just happened. Channeling a few times. I will forever seek knowledge and have taken all the courses at Boulder Psychic Institute. You're very lucky to have a place like that. I do it online. And there's lots of free stuff out there, everybody. There really, really is. And even Julie as well. Hi, Gwen Patterson. Haven't seen you in forever. So glad to have you here. So Julie Jean Bassett said, I love to take classes too. I love learning new things too. Exactly. I can tell you, I am completely different than I was even 5 years ago. My gifts, the same thing with the downloads and the up leveling and you name it. Ken Stockless here. He said, popping in for a minute. Let's check in on Instagram. I think it might have shut off on me here over. And I apologize if it did, guys. Sometimes it only goes an hour. So let me put my glasses back on. Ken says, always busy, but I should try taking some courses too. So, oh my goodness, is that Hummingbird Jewel I see? I'm not sure, but I think it might be. I'm not positive. Looks like her picture, but welcome. We got Leah 24, Michelle Wilfog still tapping that screen for the hearts. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Stermilio Triplets _ girly joined. Let's see who else. Nancy Pants. Nunya too has been clicking and liking the live. If you guys have some questions or whatever, feel free to write it in the chat on TikTok. Michelle, I know you're there. So if you get a chance and you see a question, are you able to pin it? Because I know I turned it on. If you're not, that's okay. Gwen says, I am old, but never too old to learn new things. You're only as old as you feel. Age is just a number. I just turned 59. I'll be 59 and a half February 15th. So I look at it as a number. So I said to you guys, I want to talk to you about demons. And Mish too, I'm going to add her comment because I think it's important. Udemy, U-D as in dog, E-M as in mouse, Y as in yes, has lots of free courses. She said she's not sure if it's in other countries. So I can access it here in Canada. And we're pretty stifled with what we can access and can't. That's true. But sign up for Mind Valley, sign up for Hay House, sign up for Oh God, it starts with an S. Do you think I can remember it? I bet you if I look at my phone, I probably can. There are so many free resources. Like I do mentoring and it's expensive. I've had people ask me to work with me as a mentor. If I had a group, um, it would be more affordable, but I've actually taken the time to send people free things because I don't want to take people's money when there's free stuff out there to get what you can get and get started on that. I don't get me wrong. I love teaching and mentoring. I always have, whether it's been a nurse or it's been this field. So let me see if I put the S in here. We'll see what happens. I'm looking. Of course, it doesn't want to come up. I don't know. We'll try it and see if it'll come up. I haven't taken a course with them in a while. I forget what it's called. You know what? I'm going to remember afterwards. Look up spiritual websites. And most of them, Heidi Gall says, turned 55 in July, and Kevin is too. So happy birthday, everybody, or if there's anybody out there celebrating. So, but there's lots of free stuff out there. Lone Wolf's another really good site. You know what? I'm going to go through my emails because I try and share this. I signed up with Kyle Gray. He has an angel reading that comes every day, free of charge. Let's see. I'll just go through here quickly and I'll tell you some of the ones I've got and they offer all kinds of free stuff. Let me see. I'm going through as I'm talking to y'all because I just saw them in here. Come on, where are you? I just saw you in here. I know I did. I've got way too many emails in here. Yep, Kyle Gray. And it's a great angel card reading with this new deck. And it's Archangel Zadkiel. Maybe I'll read it to you guys. It says, be the change you seek. Your intentions to live with meaning and purpose have led you to where you are today. Where you are is where you are needed, but don't forget to be a light of healing wherever you go. The changes that you are seeking at this time must begin within you. We sort of talked about that at the beginning, or a little bit earlier. If you're starting to get on this spiritual type path, including doing the inner healing and work, all of us can have some type of, whether it's emotional, spiritual, physical, mental healing. And then it says, even if you're facing difficult circumstances, ask yourself how you can shine your light more wholly and fully. And there's an activation that's shared on here. It says, thank you, Archangel Zadkiel, for helping me change within myself first before seeking change elsewhere. So I get one of those every day. I just saw it. There's a big site I'm not thinking of. And as I'm going through here, I'm going to find it. I got Mind Valley. I'm signed up with it. YouTube's a great resource. Hang on. Where did you go, you little monkey? Even if you want to learn how to do tarot, or some people say tarot, it's called Biddy, B-I-D as in dog, D as in dog, Y, tarot. She's got all kinds of free stuff. Send you an email. She's even got a contest right now. Win a private coaching session with me in today's email. Let's see, because I want to find some of these to tell you guys. I'm signed up even with Mel Robbins because I don't agree with everything she says, but I think she's down to earth, and I think she shares sometimes some helpful tips on self-improvement. I don't always read the emails, but they're there. And Avatar, is it Avatar, welcome. Nice to see you here. Sounds True. That's another one that's not bad. They offer some courses that aren't too bad a price. So that's exactly, I think it's called Sounds, S-O-U, or sorry, T-R-U-E, S as in Sam, O-U, N as in Nancy, D as in dog, S as in Sam, .com. But there was another one. Oh, sorry, I don't want to unsubscribe as I'm doing it. There's another one I wanted to share with you guys that was really good in here. Give me one sec. Karma Gaia. So K-A, R as in Richard, M as in mouse, A as in apple, G as in George, A-I-A. Fantastic site. Daily Om, all one word. Inspiration. There's all kinds of free sites out there. Hi, Mart Ali. Nice to see you. Welcome. You got Anthony, Chloe. Is it Huey? Welcome. Hugaholic. Oh, I like that name. Steve Rack or Rake. Nonia is still there. Michelle tapping that like button for all the hearts. Thank you. Thick leave-in conditioner joined in. That's quite a name. Yeah, awesome. We've got a Green Daddy. Hello, welcome. Thanks, Michelle, for saying hi to everybody and commenting over on TikTok. You're awesome. I knew you'd be amazing at this. Nunez, please tell me if I'm saying that right, and I apologize if I'm not. Says, I love Kyle Gray. I do his meditations on YouTube. And I love that you guys are commenting. Got BB9112 over on TikTok. So I said I was going to talk to you guys about demons. So when I went to the paranormal conference here locally, and I'm trying to say this without sounding judgmental, because we can all be judgmental as human beings, even when we're aware of it. And I always say it's not my job to be judgmental. But I have to tell you, I was absolutely astounded with the amount of people I ran into. I wasn't looking for them, that openly were admitting they're working with demonic entities. Now, I have had, as something goes and clicks in my closet, oh geez, who's our guy from Sri Lanka who always says I have Bigfoot in my closet? I don't. Anyways, and I had a couple personal conversations with a couple people, and one in particular who didn't tell me about the demons that she works with. She actually heard the class A++ EVP, and then she said, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." And I said, I kind of looked at her and I went, "Cool?" I said, I don't know if I'd call it cool when you live through that kind of experience. And then she went on and on, told me about what she does and works with demons. And some are really, really want nothing to do with humans, but some are so sweet and loving, and they never have a use for your soul. So they don't want that, and they don't want your energy. And it's been my experience that when you're going to work with something like that, they want something. There's either a payment or there's something they may not collect in the beginning. So I kind of turned it back on her and I said, well, what price did you have to pay? And she said, well, none. She said, just some of them just love humans. And I said, well, you just finished telling me that they don't want your soul and they don't want your energy. So what would compel something to work with you? And I say this with no disrespect, but one tiny little human, right, that can live, if we're lucky, maybe 100 years. They've been around for eons and eons and eons and eons, and they're just going to do it out of the love and kindness of their heart. I don't think they would be classifying themselves as a demonic entity if that's what they were. And then I said, as for angels, I said, angels are God's messengers. That was part of why, not all, but to work with God's children, if you will, Source's children, they come, it's kind of part of their agreement, why they exist, right? They come in love and light. And then I had somebody today, I've been seeing, I'm not looking for this stuff, it's falling in my lap. So I said, okay, Spirit, I get it. You want me to talk about this with spooky season. And Spirit would never tell me what to do. But I had somebody send me a video today, and it was really intriguing. And they said, this is what I think demons are. I didn't recognize who was speaking till afterwards. And I'm not trying to rain on anybody's parade, but they started referring to that humans are all created by demons are all created by human beings and our thoughts. That's why when people are having issues, they must face their inner demons. And it was much longer than this. But I started thinking about that, and right away it came through with Spirit. To me, an inner demon is what is part of what you may refer to in the spiritual world, the shadow, right? And what the shadow is, we all have a shadow self, not just a physical self, but a shadow self too. Human beings each and every one of us have the potential to be it all. So the people we see on the news, like Mr. DIDDY, or a serial KILLER, for example, right? What do we look at that and we're shocked, we're horrified, oh my gosh, why would they ever do that? Like, we really, really do look at it. But we have the potential as human beings to be it all. And a good example is maybe standing in a group and we're looking over something that's, you might consider it evil, might consider it inappropriate, whatever it is. We're not going to be like those people. Well, we have the potential to be like those people, but we've kind of put it in a sack we carry behind us called the shadow. And part of when you get into the spiritual side, is you start to learn how to work with the shadow and start to become comfortable with it all and accepting of it all. And I'm really oversimplifying it. But this is what they were describing demons as. And I thought, I can't agree with that, because then we get into topics like portals and dimensions. And as I've often said, and again, I don't know everything, but if we really simplify it and we break it down, right? Everything's energy. One of the laws of energy is we can neither create nor destroy it, but we can move it or transfer it from one place to another. Not everybody is running around thinking, speaking, feeling, or acting in love and light. And I'm not saying it in judgment. What I'm saying is that regardless, what we think, what we say, what we feel, what we do, all energy. Energy's got to go somewhere, right? Collectively. And that's how you get into things like tulpas, for example. How do we create a tulpa? Let's use the example of creepy pasta with Slenderman years ago, right? It's just a creepy story that somebody wrote that they created, because all human beings are capable of creation as well as manifestation. They wrote it in a story. It kind of went viral. People started drawing it and thinking about it and talking about it and what have you. And the more energy something is put into, it can actually begin to take a physical form, right? So I'll ask you, where do you guys think? We won't use the D word because not everything is a demon, okay? But there's negative entities. There is. Where do you think they come from? How do you think they're here? Why do you think 100% of humanity doesn't experience it? Is it because they don't believe in it, so they don't experience? Because I've run into people like that. I can honestly tell you, I was not looking for my paranormal experience. I was raised Catholic. I always say I was forced to go to church right from the womb. I went to Catholic church every Sunday, and every holiday I went to a Catholic school. Nothing wrong with religion, right? Whatever road you take to bring you back to a place, whether you want to call it source, God, home, the universe, and a place of love and light and kindness to others or service to others. If it works for you, great. But my point is when people aren't thinking these kind of things, when they're doing these negative things, thinking these things, and like Leslie said, I've never knowingly experienced evil, so you don't know, right? Is it predetermined? Like I know David and I have talked on the thing at the foot of the bed on Thursdays, and I'm in agreement with him that I think I had the extreme experience that I did in my previous home along with my family, because I would not be doing the work that I'm doing today. I was planning on, if I could heal my back and get back into it, I wanted to go to become a doctor. And instead, I'm doing this and I love it. I have no regrets. So maybe I did need something. Oh, that scared me. Sorry, that came through on Facebook. I didn't know if we were showing movies tonight or what we were. So I don't mean a movie, but spooky clips or what have you. So it all depends, right? Is it predetermined that we have this experience? Like, is it something we've contracted to have before we've incarnated into this lifetime? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Like, what do you guys think? Now, Kevin says, I guess they're all degrees of good and evil, and some may overlap. And I'm also going to add to that good and evil, like the word normal, are very, very subjective. What's evil to me, maybe not be evil to you, may not be evil to you, may not be evil to you. Same thing as what's good to you or normal or what have you, right? And I know David, I'm going to bring him up again on Thursday nights. He's my co-host, as most of you know in this chat, but maybe over on TikTok or Instagram. Not, it's just an energy drink, not sponsored. um, he said, what did he, sorry, I got to think about this again. I lost my train of thought again. He said, but say, for example, ET, and we extraterrestrials or aliens, I call them extraterrestrials, and say we've heard of the reptilians and they're evil, they're terrible, they're But are they really? Because my thoughts are, living in a duality on this planet, not every human being is evil. Not every human being is good. But David said it's kind of like the old saying, and he didn't say it exactly this way, but beauty's in the eye of the beholder, so is evil. Maybe back on their own planet or where they come from or dimension or wherever they're from, it's not evil. It's just evil in our eyes, right? Food for thought, right? Um, and then, sorry, you just have to be okay. I'm going to read your comment again. I guess they're all degrees of good and evil, and some may overlap. Sometimes you can get the energy needed to assist from something that may be considered dark. And I do know people that work with that. And there's nothing wrong with that if it works for you. And I know a few people that walk the middle line, and they help people with dark experiences, but they do get advice or work with others on both sides of the field, if you will. So Kevin says you just have to be aware to close that connection. Agreed. If you go that way. And then he said, so true, Lorilei. And Ken says, I was told negative just doesn't have much light. Well, that's another way of looking at it. But then again, because I told Dave, I thought that was really profound when he brought that up, with the fact that it's well, he didn't say it this way, but I'm getting this from spirit. It's kind of like the old saying of beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So I think it depends on who's looking at it and from what perspective, right? I was just very surprised to see a lot of people saying they only strictly work with that type of energy, though. Or, and again, I don't know everything, but I definitely felt from the video that was sent to me about, and it's somebody bigger in the spiritual world, I'm not going to call them out, and they channel, and they had said that that's why people say I have inner demons, that this is basically coming from within, and humans create these. And then I said, but then how do you explain poltergeist activity? How do you explain Bigfoot? How do you explain the dog man? How do you explain extraterrestrials? Are we all creating it? I don't think so personally. And I think there are things such as portals and dimensions and time travel. And again, had Chris been on here tonight, we would have talked about the Montauk chair, which supposedly has come from alien technology. That when you sat in it, when Chris sat in it as a young boy, that he could go to other dimensions. He could time travel with this. It would literally open a portal that you could step into and you would be somewhere else. So there's a lot of things out there, like I say, maybe we don't even know about. I just think it gives us lots of food for thought, right? And I'm not judging people that work strictly in the dark. It just kind of shocked me that I've run into quite a few people over the last month that really seem to just be gravitating to the dark. And as I've said before, the ideal, if there could ever be perfect in my eyes for a human being, if we were standing right in the middle, to be perfectly grounded to the center of the earth, energy running up through all the invisible little energy portals that are called chakras, which I work with and help balance when I do crystal Reiki sessions. The energy connects right out through our crown and our other chakras right to source energy. And then it's the perfect yin yang, to have the perfect amount of light and the perfect amount of dark. We would be in complete balance, right? So when we lean too far to one way or too far to the other, because going off of what you said, Ken, the negative just doesn't have much light. I think we need a balance. So I put it out there with the spooky time of year, with the veil being as thin as it is, that, and I don't know, I know that energy flows where attention goes, or attention goes where energy flows, vice versa, right? That we're all thinking about spookier type things. We're not all watching horror and gore and everything else, but it's kind of that time of year, right? So I thought, let's talk about it. I want to hear your thoughts. Like Kathy Hamley Little said, it's our perception. Kevin said, My team of guides, for example, some are very much light, some are both light and dark, and some are typically more dark. But I specify what I need from them and do not abuse, like I don't call on them. To me, though, like even I was watching a very interesting podcast last night. I watch a lot of YouTube. Really have been enjoying Sean Atwood's channel over in the UK. He talks about quite a few topics that I'm very passionate about that we can't really talk about with being on YouTube, and I don't know what TikTok would be like. And he has a host that comes on there by the name of Ron. Is it Ron Swanson? He's over from Scotland, and he's very passionate about the safety of children all around the world without triggering any issues on these platforms. And I knew he practiced magic. He didn't quite come out and say what kind. It might almost even sound a little bit more Odinism, or maybe Druid-like. I'm not sure. He didn't label it, but he made a lot of good points about the difference between white magic, dark magic, and black magic. But to me, I had always been taught, and I could be wrong, but when you're really practicing very dark to the point of black magic in particular, there's a price to pay. And to me, I don't know, I could be wrong, but what I get from my guides and everywhere else, that dark entities, very, very dark in the way of, say, demons, don't really need to work with us. They have no need for us. So unless you've got something to give them, or they know they will have, and I'm not saying your soul, but something, price to pay for it, right? That what say if you're doing something with magic and you're hurting somebody else with it, there's a price to pay. And I have heard anywhere between 3 to 10 times, depending on what you put out, will eventually come back to you. So to me, what price do you pay? Is there a price? And again, going back, I know I said angels, but I'm talking positive spirit. Oh, I'm knocking everything over here, guys. Sorry, half my cards just jumped off, the oracle cards. So I don't know. It's some food for thought. And let's go up a little bit. So Kevin said, my animal totem guides are also similar. Eagle and mountain lion, bat and king cobra can be light or dark depending, but so can human beings. And if we're all connected, right, we can be at all too. Now, Connie says, I am definitely watching spooky movies. See, that's the thing. I can't watch scary movies. I can't. And if they're suspenseful, even if I've seen them before, I can't stand that feeling of suspense. And you know something's coming, like a jump scare or whatever it is. So nothing wrong if you watch them. Good on you, but I'm not one of those people. Let's look over on TikTok. Oh, glasses aren't on my head. It's ears. Hang on. So who we got over here? So Michelle, we got Tyson Robin just joined. Michelle Wilfong. Oh, this keeps scrolling down. Rescue Doodle. There's a lot of light and dark. I would love to hear more about that. So feel free, if you're still here, Rescue Doodle, to hear more about your thoughts. We got KGB 0713, Anno, Rescue Doodle. Your animals will always tell you the truth. 100%. Absolutely. When I help people with the paranormal, I always say, I have a questionnaire I do. Hi, Joanna Garfi McNally. She says, hi. She says she can't watch scary movies either. And one of the questions I asked very early in the interview is, do you have small children or animals around you? And if they do, I ask them, what are you seeing? Are they able to share? Say it's a small child. What are they experiencing? What are they telling you? Because yes, and the reason why I think animals and very young children can see spirit is their work is play, especially when it comes to children or young animals, but also a lot of the evil things that we would consider evil as human beings, animals don't do that to one another. Many of the things they don't do to one another. If you want to see an example of pure unconditional love, right? Just spend some time around a young child or an animal and you will know, especially pets, right? Definitely. And Julie saying absolutely. Kathy Henley Little is saying what was just said brings the story of Dorian Gray. I don't know. I think I haven't really watched that. The only thing I watched was A League of Extraordinary Men. I guess I got to look into that story. Linda Dillman, I was just thinking about you the other day. I'm so glad to see you're here. She said, I don't do jump scare movies or horror fiction of any kind. It tends to manifest bad energy. Leslie 1266. I'm sure those who have experienced evil, they may not enjoy scary movies. Well, I guess that's part of it. I've said too. I've lived enough horror stories in real life with some of the experiences I've had, but also even being a nurse and working in many different fields, I have definitely seen a lot of horrible things. Kevin says, speaking of cans, is that true? Oscar the Grouch now lives in a recycle bin? No, really? I also seen, I could be talking for hours and I won't because I got to get off of here in a few minutes. But something new with the Mandela effect I had not realized. And this woman made a TikTok video. I wish I could remember her name. And she was a major fan of The Wizard of Oz. Now, I was never a major fan of The Wizard of Oz, but I've seen it quite a few times. And she brought up now, apparently, and she said it has not been AI generated, like it's not been cut. Apparently, where she had seen it and she's researched it, this is what they're now showing as the original movie, that all three, the Tin Man, the Lion, and the Scarecrow, are all armed. And for example, I think she said it was the Scarecrow has a, I can't say the word on YouTube or TikTok, but a pew pew. And bless you, that was my dog saying, oh God, let's hope she doesn't have a sneezing fit on here. Sometimes she will. So, oh, now she's going to come over. She always comes over to say hi at least once during the show. Come on up and you can say hello. This is Emmy. She thinks she's a lap dog, though, unfortunately. Okay, careful. Don't knock everything all over. Okay, so, yeah. And I thought, holy cow, she's right. They were never armed before. And Joanna Garfield McNally says, agree, animals talk to us all the time. Linda Dillman said, Oz, okay, you have to get down now. Okay, sweetie, come on. Oh, here you go, girl. Oh, Julie says, hi, Emmy. Emmy, Julie said hello. Linda Dillman says, Oscar was a nug of herbs. What was the message there? Well, that's kind of true. And Connie says, hello, beautiful girl. She has her Halloween collar on. Mish says, we're all from the same bean factory, different cans. I like that, actually. That's really good. I seen somebody, I think it was somebody was saying they liked that. Oh, Kevin said he liked that. And let's see. Yeah, everybody's just saying hi to Emmy. I want to thank all of you for being here, especially I want to say thank you for your patience on TikTok, not always directly looking at the camera, but I'm so glad that all of you joined us here. And I'm hoping to get a streaming key. I am working on it and I am heck bent that I'm going to find one. If I could figure out how to jailbreak an iPhone when they first came out in the US, and I won one when I was, well, I live in Canada, I'm a Canadian. It took me 10 hours to figure it out, but I did. And I actually years ago used to do, it wasn't even called a podcast back then, with 3 guys that were computer experts from across North America. And we did a podcast talking about the iPhone. I'm going to figure it out. I don't know how. Oh, hi, Joe Fox. He says, hello. She's beautiful. She is. Julie, who has worked with Emmy for me, has said she'd never met an animal in all her years. And I'm probably not going to quote it correctly, but basically was so connected to universal consciousness. And then I jokingly said, well, look what her mommy does, right? So Leslie says, thanks for the great stream. Appreciate your comments on this wonderful community. Well, I appreciate you and everybody that's here. I want to send you all so much love and light. I want to thank everybody that joined us on TikTok and Instagram. Roku wasn't working tonight. It says, I hope it will, but there was no way because I got to concentrate if I got to fix something while I'm producing. So if it came through, great. If it didn't, I apologize. We tried. But I'm going to be back on Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If we have to do the same, we will. But hopefully I can get it straightened out by then. I've even applied for a stream. So let's see how that works. I tried even a trick of going on mobile gaming. I did a test yesterday, and I think too many people were doing that because I couldn't replay the stream. Because I'm going to test it before I do that, because I'm not going to get all of you joining me and then you guys can't join in. I want you guys all to be able to join in. I want to thank Michelle Wilfong over on TikTok too, because she kind of found out with short notice. I did not have a minute, and I'm sorry, but I knew you wouldn't mind, and I deeply appreciate it. Michelle Wilfong, she's the mod that's in the chat tonight on TikTok. You guys go check out her channel. She's got a haunted apartment, and her videos, she's caught some pretty interesting stuff. So check her out on TikTok. I want to thank all of you over here that joined me, whether it was YouTube or Facebook or Instagram. Again, David and I will be back Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the thing at the foot of the bed, talking all things spirit, not spiritual. Sorry, lots of times we do spooky because we're so close to Halloween. So you guys won't want to miss that. Also, if you ever want to get a hold of me to book a reading, I do psychic readings, I do mediumship. I also do energy healing with crystal Reiki, working with balancing your chakras and working with your energy field, and grounding you after. It's pretty profound, especially some of the people who've been coming regularly for a couple of years now. They've made incredible shifts, and it's not me. It's the willingness for them to want to make life better for themselves through working on inner healing, as well as I always say I'm just a male person and connecting with spirit that way. So you can get a hold of me right now on facebook.com/the Angel Rock. But again, I am setting up a course in the new year to start teaching. It's going to be some kind, I don't know what the title is yet, but it's going to be basically beginning with spirituality. Even if you're still into it, doesn't hurt to check it out. We're going to be talking about it's going to be a couple months, one night a week. So it's going to be pretty in depth, and I'm looking forward to it. So I'm hoping to have it under all one roof with a domain name. So watch for that. I want to send you all so much love and light. Oh, Linda, that's so sweet of you. She said, I'm so glad I found you. Life is changing for me. So when I get settled, I'll be able to pop in more. Much love. Well, we can't wait to have you back. I was just thinking about you the other day, thinking, gosh, I haven't seen Linda in a while. See, we're like a family here. Everybody just pops in and we all hang out. We have a lot of fun. So I will see you. Oh, next week we are having Dr. Frederick Woodard. He's usually on Instagram a lot of times. He's a psychologist. He's got a great practice. He's an author. We're going to be talking about his latest book. And you guys know the authors I have on here has so much knowledge to share with all of you and help you all with your own lives. Anyways, sending you all so much love and life. Stay spooky, and we'll see you on Thursday. Okay, everybody, have a good one.